On today's Minute of the Apes, I find myself that I'd really rather talk to Richard about the way he runs his business today than talk about apes. I'm really sorry to say that to everyone, but I'm going to tell you guys, the man's fascinating if you get him talking about business.
Wait for the in-between.
All right, there it is, in between.
Exercise with an ape maker, human down. It talks. You're the keepers of the divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. Damn, every once in a while I don't take enough of a breath, and that's why I
can't
kind
get through the sentence.
It's like, ugh.
Racing to the end.
I'm Todd. That was Sean. And you, Mr. Fascinating, are Richard. Is that correct?
That's correct. We had a conversation about pricing.
Yeah.
And we started talking about how to price product and what it means to have a retail store versus have, selling product in your underwear in your living room. And it became kind of this fascinating, how do businesses price their product and what does it mean? And if you wait until the in-between at the end of the week, we are actually going to talk about that.
Yeah, and it's one of those that I think anybody, if you're here with us, you're a little geeky like we are too, and the idea of the things you want and where you go and what you turn to, that's where this all came from. So Richard's going to open the doors about how some of this works for us. So there you go. That's your tease. With all that said, minute 16, Sean, we're watching a Planet of the Apes movies. What's going on?
We are going to start minute 16 with Armando saying that cargoes of apes are frequently unloaded at night, and ends with Armando saying he didn't say human.
All right, let's take a listen to minute 16 of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Cargoes of apes are frequently unloaded at night. Now, you must try to infiltrate one of them.
Armando, I don't...
Apes imported from overseas are right naked, so you'll have to get rid of these clothes.
I don't want to.
But we must have an alternate plan, don't you see? Right now, the only safe hiding place for you is among your own kind. I shouldn't be long.
Why would you say human? Human, that's a very odd thing for another human being to say.
I didn't say human.
As minute 16, we have a courtyard worth of gorillas, chimpanzees, and orangutans, Milo/Caesar, and a planet's worth of humans.
So, hang on. With your courtyard of all of them, we also have a hair salon, a bookstore, a restaurant.
We kind of have the same...
a cafe.
I'm considering
it's got to be the same mall.
the mall. Yeah.
I'm teasing you.
I don't know if this is a pilot program and it's only happening here, or if it's actually all around the world.
I do like
we have
that
an outdoor mall of apes.
I do like that they do their training right by the actual facilities themselves.
Again, the screwed up training montage.
So we get more of the scene with Armando and Caesar, the protective parent. Go ahead.
I didn't need Armando to say, apes imported from overseas arrive naked, so you have to get rid of those clothes.
Set up for what's going to come.
I said Armando's ready to get them clothes on the goddamn floor.
But I felt that would have been an obvious choice
to say
when he's in the situation. Caesar in the situation, like, I can't wear this. Like I didn't need.
How am I going to blend in?
Yeah. But it is setting up. I mean, it's basically like, hey, you might need to do this kind of stuff. Armando's really specific.
Here's your, and why can't I think it now? The water movie. Why can't I think of
Waterworld.
No, the one that went
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. Here comes your Shape of Water monkey love, human love thing where it's like, hey, my son, I need you to get naked. It is a little weird.
Yeah, it didn't need to be said.
No.
It would have been apparent that he had to do that.
You could say things in different ways. You're going to have to do what you need to do to fit in.
Right.
Make yourself, you cannot, everything I've ever taught you about blending in, you must do. Hello, that's enough. You don't need to tell your son to get naked.
Right. It was not necessary.
Are apes naked? Because they do have a lot of fur covering everything.
They don't wear clothes, so yeah.
I guess technically.
Rest is drag.
Well, that goes.
Yeah, that's from RuPaul.
Is it?
Yeah.
That all goes back to that one executive that saw the early cut of Star Wars and said, I'm really kind of bothered. The big monkey doesn't have any clothes on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they wanted Chewbacca to wear pants.
Why?
Because they felt like he was naked.
He was naked.
He is essentially naked.
Donald Duck. We're Daffy Duck.
Donald Duck wears clothes.
Well, no, he wears a shirt.
He wears a shirt.
He doesn't wear pants.
That's because his nipples are very...
seriously, we're blah.
Brother, you and I are on the same page with that. You start thinking, good Lord, okay, let's all look at this. We all have genitals. We all have this. We all have that. It's just a body. And especially when it's a big furry body, no one's sitting there going, woohoo, look at the free willy on the Chewbacca.
Right, yeah.
Fine, I guess I'll jerk off to it.
Oh my God! So
I can't even go on. It was also the hand motion you put with that.
This is so random, but we sell comic books, and there's always like
At Zeus Comics.
scantily clad women on the cover
Of course.
sometimes. And every so often you'll hear somebody masturbates to that.
Oh God!
And I'm like, why do you put that in my head, people?
Okay, then let's be very honest to the rest of the world. There are people that masturbate to just about everything in the world.
Yeah.
That is just the way we are. Whatever it is that is
The wind blows.
turns you into what you need to be at that moment and arouses you, then go for it. Just don't hurt anybody else when you do it. That's our service announcement for the day. Thank you.
So Chewbacca doesn't have any clothes on, and Armando, his dad, is selling Caesar. He might not have to wear any clothes.
Yeah.
There's nothing really big about this moment other than the kind of continuation of the... Okay, not big in this. The conversation. The conversation is the separation moment. You need to be safe. I need to protect you. And then the Caesar whimpers and cries.
Right.
And I was really kind of drawn to how Roddy was able to make himself cry in the mask. Because we haven't seen anybody cry yet in the ape mask. And he was like sobbing. And he had to over-exaggerate it, but it really, really just kind of made me so sad. Just to have
It is sad. I find that this scene, we talked about that it needs that impending threat of being caught. I also thought as it got into the scene, it needs a little music. It needs just something undercut, whether that be a soft cello playing or a guitar, even singular piano notes that are just playing a melody.
Sax.
It just needs that thing that tells the audience we're sad. And there's no atmosphere to this. And without those two elements, when I'm watching this one a minute at a time, I kind of thought, it's sad, but it needs a little more. It needs a little push to get me there. And if anything, then it creates, when we go into the separation of these two characters, it makes me even long to have them together more. And I'm sitting there thinking, how do we get them back together? But as it is, that's not in my heart.
So I kind of lambasted earlier a minute about the fact that they were like
A mimic
of the apes. I lambasted earlier when they were just kind of doing that scene on the top of a
roof.
Mm-hmm. And now it's kind of the same thing. You're drawing this point to me, and I'm like, they're just in a freaking stairwell, not doing anything.
Right.
Like you almost needed that, like that goodbye. Rose is on the ice on the piece of paneling as he floats off and drifts away. You do need a moment of the separation of the characters, not just sitting in the stairwell.
We should have seen him making Caesar go down the steps. They should have been separated. The music should be there. Whether you like it or not, film is often a manipulation of your senses, unlike you get with any others, because comic books, between the visual panel and the red panel, that manipulates one thing. TV does another, but with all that film can do, it can truly manipulate the shit out of you. Go watch Star Wars without the music in it, and you begin to realize how much the music is telling you what to feel.
I didn't mind the movement from the parking garage to the stairwell.
No, I didn't either.
But now that we're dealing with the separation, I do need something more than just sitting in a stairwell for this moment. I need that physical separation that actually happens.
I actually thought it would have been nice, instead of just saying this leads to tunnels, if he took his hand and said, "Come with me, I'll show you," and then he why don't we go there? Why can't they just here's a tunnel? These tunnels will lead you to the harbor. Well, I can't, and then that separation feels right.
Well,
but I know that's more money.
Just so you know, they didn't necessarily intend on being in the stairwell. They originally were going to be in that tunnel the entire time and never moved to the stairwell.
Oh.
So the addition of Armando saying these steps lead down to a tunnel was added. The script just says this tunnel leads to...
And I get that. You know,
had
how many times in a film,
like,
and then it's also, wow, we're going to have a little bit of hard time relocating over here, shooting in this tunnel. Well, let's just do it in the stairwell.
Be the stairwell. These steps lead to the tunnel.
And I totally get that. I totally get why they did it.
He, Caesar, moves in, lays his chest on Armando. Armando cradles his head. Then Caesar just kind of grabs at him as Caesar kind of gets up to walk... Armando gets up to walk up the steps. And it is still heartbreaking. It is just like, and then he gets to the top of the steps, and Armando kind of looks down, and Caesar just kind of cries.
Yeah.
It hurts. It really, really hurts.
It does hurt.
It's heartbreaking because we also know, even without having seen future minutes, we know that Armando's plan is not going to work. We know he's not going to walk in there and say, I said it, a talking monkey didn't say it, and they're going to go, right you are, have a good day. No.
Right. This is not a film that you think anything's going to work out.
Yeah.
Well, so then we have another one of those kind of abrupt cuts. We're now back in the office of the governor, the city governor, Breck. And he says, but why did you say human? Human's an odd thing for another human to say. And it just kind of jumps to this moment that Armando's now being interrogated by the police.
And they start saying human so many times it starts to lose all sense of the word human.
But we go to kind of another brightly lit office. Everybody's in black turtlenecks and jet blazers, and the lighting is such that it mirrors kind of the salon where everything is kind of white or black,
very sterile,
and stark, very sterile. I don't know. It's just kind of it was abrupt, and I immediately don't like this person.
Yeah, you don't. This is one of those where I wish you would even cut to a establishing shot outside of a building
government
with some
building.
Gestapo people walking in, just to give me a breath.
Los Angeles Zoo.
Yeah, just anything,
just something to let us know that we're there.
Exactly, and it also gives me a breath between the emotions of the last moment and what happens here. Now, in some ways, you want the harshness of that, but I don't know. This film feels really like they're jumping as quick as they can from one moment to the next just to move along.
You're right. It needed
a little pacing just to kind of
those
stop.
Two sad moments and what's happening outside with Breck.
Right.
But why did you say human? Human's an odd thing to say. And then he kind of ends somewhere. I didn't say human. I said inhuman.
I didn't say human is where we end our minute.
Okay, I didn't say human. And Armando's kind of leaving and kind of pleading. It's kind of interesting to go from this minor character in the last movie to kind of move to Armando being kind of so dominant in
very featured character in this so far.
But I guess when you think about characters in terms of the first three, he was in the last one. He's the one really carrying forward. I mean, Roddy's behind Caesar, but otherwise he's the only
no
connecting.
Dixon, no Brandt.
He's the
Branton.
connecting piece between them.
That's true. Very true. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
All right, minute 16. I didn't hear anything from you. Are you good, Richard?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, minute 16 in the books. We'll be back tomorrow, obviously, with minute 17. Everybody have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
The minute